Hi, everybody. It is 4:43 in the afternoon. It is the 13th of April. This is day, God only knows how many. It's Monday, so I guess it's 1 week plus two, something like that, here in New York. So I didn't post anything yesterday, and that's in part because I had a melt. I took a day off, so. The company that we're with is super gracious in that, well, we're pretty much here on a 21-day straight thing. They will allow us, if we're not right, if we're just overly stressed, we can tap out for kind of a medical day. I did. They also kind of give us a day off of our choosing, so we can kind of schedule that, so I will save that for later. But so yesterday I got a lot of sleep. I have no idea how much I slept. I did go out with a friend. We went down to World Trade Plaza, walked up Wall Street, went out to the waterfront, watched sunset at Statue of Liberty, and then took a subway back, got some pizza, and were somewhat human for a little bit. And then I slept for I don't know, probably 12, 14 hours. I have no idea. So wake up feeling slightly less dead. My brain is working a little bit better, but my body is hurt. So, it feels kind of like, if you're an athlete and you're playing injured. I think there's thousands and thousands of medical professionals right now in New York City who are all playing injured. For all of my race car friends that are out there, when a car's bent and broken and you're trying to drive around and stay in the race, we're trying to drive around issues right now. So I'm sitting here kind of polishing up my PPE. Every day when I come home, I pretty much take everything and I hose it down with 3% hydrogen peroxide. We let it dry. And then all the lenses and everything, you got to kind of polish them up because there's a little bit of residue. Because as that stuff breaks down and kills every little bad bug on there, it turns into hydrogen and water. So it leaves a little bit of water, stained little water residue on there. So it's super easy to clean up. Not a big deal. It is my favorite way to clean my PPE that I reuse. Because it's not terribly harsh, it's very effective. It gets into all the nooks and crannies on everything, and then the cleanup is not too terrible bad. So something I did last night as I ate pizza was I turned on the news. I have not watched hardly any news in the time that I've been here, and it seemed as if most of the talk on the news was about the desire to reopen the economy. So there was a lot of that. So I guess I'm wondering, how do I feel about reopening the economy and opening things up? I think that I would give it a firm maybe. Because there might be places where that's an okay idea. There are definitely places where it's a bad idea. I don't have any doubt saying that there are places that would be a very bad idea. But overall, there's one thing about it that I think I have definitive feelings on, and that is that the question itself, I think, is faulty. And by that, I mean, if the question is open the economy and how do we open the economy, by the very nature of the question, it's saying that the focus is the economy. The focus is not on public health. The focus is not on your life. The focus is not on what is best for the overall welfare of the people of our nation and our communities and for you, but it's on the economy, it's on the money. And that's the wrong focus. That's the wrong place we should be looking. I have avoided politics for pretty much this whole thing. I do not think that the issues here should be about politics. I'm by nature a pretty politically opinionated person. But I'm a healthcare professional, and my job is to go out and do my job and do it without regard to the larger political questions about how that happens. Well, this is one of those places where things kind of blur the lines between one issue and the next. And Jack Caldwell, thank you. This thing's awesome. This is my big Honeywell bad boy. I also have, some 3Ms that are a little bit thinner, a little bit more surface area on the filters, a little bit easier to breathe out of, but this thing fits my great big huge head really well. And all of these things are going to use with people who need them. We are in high contact areas where you can pretty much scrape COVID off of surfaces and people with a spatula. And this level of protection is incredible. It's awesome, and it gives us the comfort and the knowledge that we can go in and really lay hands on people and not have to worry as much about what we're exposing ourselves to. So if you are in the market for this sort of protection, I could probably do a whole entry on just the positives and negatives of these things at this point. Everything from N95 up to P100 and, all the different certifications and all of that. But so these things are pretty nice. All these different things, they kind of come with their own pluses and minuses. But yeah, so sorry for that little aside on PPE, but as I'm sitting here scrubbing, things pop into my mind. But back to the politics and the opening of the economy. It's in the last couple of years, you've heard all these things about, the role of the self-made rich person and how the job creators are the ones who drive this economy and how we need to tilt the system to help protect those job creators. Where are they now? They're out there asking to have things opened up so that the people who bag the groceries and drive the trucks and pour your coffee so they can get back to work in order to help the job creators. I thought they were all a bunch of self-made people, but here we're talking about getting all of these people back to work. Maybe the focus of the economy isn't on the people at the very top of the economy, but the people that the economy is built on the backs of. So maybe we should be protecting them. Maybe they should be the focus. Maybe they should be the ones that we're trying to nurture and protect. Because it sure seems like all of this impact basically boils down to the bottom of the pyramid and the foundation, and not the tippy top. And that's my politics for today, and hopefully for a while. So, so what are the health issues, the health impacts of reopening the economy? That's interesting, because I think maybe, and this isn't scientific, this isn't collaborated with others, it's not based on any fine, detailed examination of trends and statistics, but I think we're seeing enough anecdotal evidence in the actual healthcare setting here in New York City, and from talking to other people, that there's a pretty strong correlation between maybe public transit and the people that this is impacted. If you think about public transit and you think about the subway system and the public buses, these are confined, high-touch places where everybody has to hold on to something. You are packed in pretty darn close. You can't get away from people coughing. There's not necessarily the best ventilation ever. And you're packed in right next to people of, who aren't the elite folks who ride around in nice cars and car services. And we're seeing a disproportionate impact of this illness on people of color and the poor. And boy, isn't that interesting. So where else are we going to have problems if we open up the economy? I think that there's a pretty obvious issue in that we are going to be seeing great risk in places like Baltimore and DC and maybe Atlanta. Detroit is already hurting. Any place where when you start opening things back up and you start seeing large movements of people, and these large movements of people are places where you're packed close together and you're going to be exposing people through things like public transit, you're probably going to see other fires take off like we are seeing in New York City. We can't do that. We have to think of ways that we can do this where we're not going to have these incredible healthcare catastrophes. We can't be loading people in the back of refrigerator trucks in every corner of our nation. We can't do that. So what do we know about what we're doing? We know that it's working, because this isn't happening everywhere. The fact that we have closed things down and we are trying to flatten the curve, it is working. And if you are out there screaming on social media and you're posting about conspiracies and you're posting about a political party trying to hold the nation hostage, you are part of the problem. You need to realize that this is not all politics, that this is about public health issues and trying to figure out the best way to deal with very serious public health issues where literally millions of lives are at risk. And how to deal with those things on the fly in the best way possible. And the fact that many places shut down and said, no school the rest of the year. That they said, we're going to close non-essential businesses for now. It's been the right thing and it's worked. And now that we learn more and we understand more, and as we grow in the amount of information that we have, maybe we can start making intelligent choices about places where we can open up and where we should open up, and ease on some of these restrictions. But that has to be a public health issue. It should not be driven by politicians trying to put a circle on a date on a calendar. It should not be a talking point about one group or another trying to fake news somebody else. It needs to be a decision and a choice and a process that is driven by professionals. And I'm not one of those professionals. So my job is to provide good quality health care to the people that I touch. My job is to be a good team member to the people that I work with. And here in this capacity, I will tell you what I see and what I know and what I think. And then past that, hey, well, I guess we'll figure it out, right? So that's pretty much that for right now. It's coming up on 5 o'clock. So I got about an hour before I have to get on the bus. I am showered, I'm half dressed. I'm feeling pretty good. I guess I'm ready to go back out there and get it. So, please feel free to post up any thoughts, any questions. I'm sure there's many things that I'm seeing and taking in here in New York that I haven't talked about. That, if you jog my thought process on that, hey, yeah, I'd love to talk about it. So I still love this city. It's pretty cool. It's got some rough edges. So I got to experience the many smells of New York yesterday. That was pretty cool. The people here are colorful. So I like that. So maybe we'll do another post on, hopefully maybe when all this is over, and I can just reflect on New York, because You can see it on TV, you can read about it, you can think about it, but until you see it, until you've been here, it's one of those things that's hard to describe. How do you describe the color blue? It's hard to do. You can only experience it, I guess. So that's about it. I love you guys. Please continue to be good to each other. Look for ways to help each other during this time. This is tough for everybody. This sucks. So, but we can get through it. We might be over the hump here in New York City. We're seeing fewer cases of super acute, nasty respiratory COVID type symptoms coming in, and maybe the ICUs are easing up just a little bit. So maybe we're over that hump. So, and we'll see what's going on other places. So, love you all. Take care. Have a good day. Catch you later, guys. So yeah, out.